Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introducing myself, my name's Indah Dwianita Putri. You can call me Indah. I'm from third TBI A. So I will explain about my material.
Material is the current uses of language learning strategies, finding the basic on accepting research literature. Contoh penelitian Anna who came up by Group 11. The definition of language learning strategies. Rubin, 1987, defined definition language learning strategies as behavior, step, or technical that language learner apply to facilitate language learner. Ghani, 2003, defined language learner strategies as civic action, behavior step, or technical that students frequently use to provide their progress. Second language, developing skill. They can facilitate an internalization, storage, retrieval, or use if new language. Issue in language learner strategies in research. One, identification of language learner strategies. Language learner strategies are identified though self-report as Gerfel and Harris, 1999, have so apply state. It's not easy to get inside the black box of the human brain of the find out what is going there. We work with what we can get, which decide the elimination provide food for dog. Verbal report and information are utilized to distinguish language learner system sign perfection dozen Kate mental cycles. Cohen, 1998. O'Malley and Chamot, 1990. So, terminology and the classification of language learner strategies, regulating the decision and utilization of learning technique is student metacognition or comparison of their own reasoning and learning measure. A metacognitive model have been produced of getting stored out learning system guidance and a core from that for research site instead of successful measure. Arguing, checking, critical thinking, and assessing. Learning strategies and learner character. In several studies has revealed that to find are the language learner strategies of the student it can be seen from use the detailed technical maybe with student factor as such as sexual orientation and the level language ability. As the looking and contract and system use the among guys and the female. A few examination have the form that female organization a great number of technical that guys. Kailani, 1996. And the fermentation of the interesting are that the language student needs to investigate distinctive learning technical, testing, and the assessing, and the unit unimally picking their on the arrangement of fine system. What more, everything student can benefit from figuring out how to organize metacognitive system to design, screen, and access themselves that door their learning effort. The fourth influence of the culture and the context. To sales students show the portion of the learning system inclination announced by understood and distinct um, um, social setting and investigation of ethically Chinese bilingual Singaporean colleague understood it and considered an unknown dialect first French or Japanese. Found the understood it a rebel and inclination from the student production from other reluctance to early utilate emotional technical by Wharton 2000. Study taught a gender at the language learner productive or understood in the colleague and the progressive Spanish composition class and the look and compliment on a composing test between the understood communicating in Spanish as a first or legacy language and the tools of learning Spanish as an unknown dialect. And number six, ex- explicit and interrogate strategies instruction. Expert learning producent guidance basically include the advancement of understood conscious of the technical they use educator demonstration of the vital reasoning understood the practice with the methodologies understood self assessment of the system utilized or practice in moving system to new achievement by Chamot et al. 1999. Language of instruction. Few research Few researchmen have addressed the issue of the language of instruction in the teaching learning strategies to second language as learners. Beginning the level students do not yet have to second language proficiency to understand explanation in the target language of why and who to use learning strategies. Learning strategies instruction should not be post until intermediate or advanced level. Course because beginner also need strategies that can make their language learner more successful and increase their motivation for further study. A study in United States of literacy development in the secondary Hispanic English language learner with limited educational background and native language literacy also use both the first language and the second language for of the classroom studied by Chamot and Catley, 2003. Transfer of strategies to new tasks. A core research of the transfer of learner strategies from the first yeah first language to the second language and from the second language the additional language and even back to first language by Chamot, 2001, page 42, has not again the rate of worry of investigation. However, study as the current there is investigation and transfer of strategies taught the language to second language as well as the factor that assist or hinder such transfer by V. Harris, Personal Communication, 2004. In a preliminary study, semi-structure and the interview were convi- conduct a small group and 12 years old student is in their second years and the foreign language to study in study language video and their second years of foreign language study in school in London, Harris, 2004. The students have been exposed to learning strategies instruction in the their English class. So they were asked to make judgment of the different strategies as to whether each strategies was used for learning English. Only for learning the foreign language. For learning any language are not useful. Different were found between high attaining and low attaining students that the high attainer used more metacognitive strategies and were making some transfer of strategies from their English class to their foreign language class, whereas low attainers were less likely use metacognitive strategies or make transfer from English. This work is continuing on a learning scale during 2004 to 2006. 2005. Therefore, the model for language learner strategy instruction. A number of models for teaching learning strategies in the first and the second language context have been developed. For example, Chamot and Chamot et al. 1999, Cohen, 1998, and others all agree on the importance of developing student metacognitive understanding of the value of learning strategies on suggests that this facilitates the teacher demonstration and modeling that emphasizes the importance and providing multiple practice opportunities with strategies so that the student can use the autonomy comically.
That's my explanation and thank you for your attention. I ending with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.